Many thanks to Paul Kestel for inviting me to contribute to the Speakeasy sessions. It's a great honour and a great privilege. Many thanks, Paul. First of all, I'm going to read a story which I wrote a long time ago, and then I'm going to read an extract from a play which I've done some messing with. The extract was written before lockdown, but in an odd way it actually kind of evokes lockdown. Apologies if I'm looking down while I'm reading. I have a script here and I'm not deliberately talking to the floorboards. The story is called The Floozy in the Jacuzzi. I wrote it when I was young and foolish. It's a romantic story. It is the eve of the millennium. I am lying in the jacuzzi, covered in seaweed. The seaweed is dark and slimy and clings to the cold contours of my body. Myself and the tart with the cart and the hags with the bags and the shite with the light are all going to hit Dublin's nightclubs. I hope to find a lover, hope to be seduced. Slowly I come alive and stretch my rusty limbs which clank as I move about and give myself a good scrub with some seaweed. I flex my arms and legs with relief. I manage to stand up and of course I'm 8 feet tall, so I probably look a bit strange. However, I try to look graceful and elegant as I emerge from the jacuzzi, splashing water over myself, my long hair scattering wetly over my shoulders. Myself and the other statues gather outside the screen cinema and start chatting, delighted to be able to talk. The shite with the light leads the way and we carouse up the road towards Lily's Bordello, waving at passers-by. 2 bouncers admit us and we swagger up to the bar and order some white wine. A man comes up to me and asks me what I do. I'm a supermodel, I reply. I'd walk miles to meet a woman like you, he says. Off you go, sir, I reply, and he rambles away. We strut out onto the dance floor where men in waistcoats with dyed hair gyrate around us, vibrating under flickering lights. The shite with the light is dancing with a girl in a luminous green velvet dress. The tart with the cart is surrounded by men and has her cart in the middle of the dance floor. She is strutting about and flinging her head from side to side with wild abandon. The hags with the bags have their bags on the floor and are doing an energetic disco routine. A man with spiked orange hair wanders up to me and asks me if I'd like a drink. No thanks, I reply. How about a boiled egg, he asks. Girls in silver jackets sit in alcoves with attentive young men. I notice a girl who has her hair plaited in a tiara around her head, and she looks unreal, like something from a grotto at the bottom of the sea. I imagine that if you touched her, your hand would pass right through her. The nightclub is decorated in neoclassical style with giant urns and neoclassical sculpture. The talent is sparse enough. Most of the men are the worse for drink, slurring their words and weaving their way towards half-naked women who repel them, and they slither back into the shadows of the nightclub. I want a man to approach me, not some pot-bellied old fart with sour, drink-sodden breath. I want the man of my dreams to approach me and lead me onto the dance floor. I've been lying in that jacuzzi for years now, and I'm lonely. The hags with the bags are crashing and banging into each other. The tart with the cart is causing a considerable commotion. She is very beautiful and is wearing a long crushed velvet dress which clings to her curvaceous body. Men flock around her, but she keeps bashing into them with her cart, which she insists on bringing onto the dance floor, and quite a few men are clutching their shins. Another man dances towards me, dressed entirely in black, and quotes the lines, "Beauty is truth. Truth, beauty, that is all you know on earth and all you need to know," which he attributes to Shelley. "Keats," I say. "Oh, is that your name?" he asks. "Hi guys," he says, introducing me to his friends. "This is Keats." "His wife and kids are at home, you know," says one of his friends. I excuse myself from the merrymakers and wander onto the dance floor. Suddenly I see a man in the shadows. He is long and thin and bony and beautiful, and is wearing a straw hat. I walk over towards him, mesmerised. "Hi," I say, and he reclines languidly against the wall. We walk onto the dance floor and I put my arms around him and he pulls me towards him and whispers some words in my ear. Suddenly I see one of the hags is disgracing herself in a corner, spewing up a vile green concoction, clutching her stomach and gasping. I excuse myself to the man in the straw hat and go over towards her. Come on, I say, dragging her into the loo. Have you no sense, woman? She mops her brow and stares bleary-eyed at her reflection. The nightclub is hot and smoky. We are not used to cigarette smoke, although we are well used to the fumes of passing traffic. My cheeks are flushed and my pupils are dilated. I apply some mascara and then drag the hag out of the loo. I prop her up against the wall and give her a lecture on the evils of alcohol, and she gazes at me and slumps sideways. I look around for the man in the straw hat. I see him and walk towards him. He looks like a movie star. Suddenly I see the fellow with the golden ghoulies strolling by, causing modest maidens to blush and look away. The prick with the stick is standing in a corner, tapping out a ballad with his stick and regarding the assembled throng. He sings softly, goodbye now, take down all I said, till Tom, Dick and Harry I rose from the dead. There is a sudden commotion and I see two bouncers walk up to the tart of the cart and catch her by the arm, ushering her towards the door. She starts to screech and belts one of them over the head with a fish, and soon the dance floor is covered in fish flickering under the disco lights, and the tart of the cart is involved in a scrum with the two bouncers. Gentlemen, I say politely, what appears to be the matter? The young lady is soliciting, says the barman. There is nothing I can do, as they usher her wriggling velvet form towards the door and eject her with her barrel of fish. I walk back to the dance floor. The man with the straw hat is standing in the shadows, and I walk towards him. He takes my hand and leads me onto the flashing dance floor, and I kiss him, and my soul takes flight. Come with me, he says, and we leave the smoky nightclub and walk outside into the night through the streets thronged with late night pleasure seekers. Couples walk by hand in hand, and gangs of youths pass by, drinking cans of lager. Groups of people are singing and dancing, and there is madness in the air. Everybody's carousing, and there are fireworks displayed at every corner, brilliant colours exploding against the night sky. I watch the dazzling patterns, and the man in the straw hat puts his arms round me, and I stand very still. We walk out of town towards the canal bank and stretch out in the grass, and the man in the straw hat takes me in his arms and kisses me. I pull him towards me. I know that I'm mad because I have to be back in the jacuzzi before dawn. I have to be in position for the commencement of the next millennium. The time and the slime is ticking away, but I am lonely in the jacuzzi and cold and longing for a lover. Afterwards, he picks me a bunch of flowers, the colour of wine, and kisses me again. We go back through the night to O'Connell Street, and I shudder, for it is nearly dawn. We stop for one last moment and look back at the River Liffey. I stand motionless as the dawn breaks and the river lightens to the colour of cappuccino. I kiss the mouth of this man that I love, and we freeze green gold in the morning light. As the sun rises, I begin to melt into human form. As I say, we were all once young, foolish. Now, this is an extract from a play. Who am I? What am I? Where am I? No light in here at all. No warmth. Like before time it is. Like the womb it is. There's no heartbeat. We spiral out. We spiral back in. Done that. Solves nothing. At least I've known to bother me here in the dark. They always terrified me, people. I didn't understand them. I was afraid all the time, afraid of everyone. That they'd hurt you. That they'd think you were an idiot. That they understood something I didn't understand. Fucking freezing in here. And I'm starving as well. All I have to eat is spiders. Nourishment. Now there's a word. Nourishment. Nothing grows in the dark. Ah well, I'd rather be hungry and cold all on my own than out there in the world. It's safer in here. People seem to be so sure of themselves, so sure of what they're doing. They seem so purposeful. I didn't know what to be doing. Didn't know what to be saying. Like a goldfish I was. Mouth open. Couldn't figure it out. This is more restful. I don't have to talk to anyone in here. I can't hurt anyone, and no one can hurt me. Better really than taking my chances. Comfy enough. I have a few smelly old coats full of mothballs. Keep me warm. I was invisible in the world, of no account. People didn't see me. Did I exist? Do I exist? How do I know? How can I know? I was afraid all the time. Afraid of everything. Afraid I was saying the wrong thing, of doing the wrong thing. Afraid I'd offend someone. Afraid of taking offence. Afraid I was talking too much. I was talking too little. Afraid I was doing something wrong. I wasn't doing what was right. Afraid of rejection. Afraid of humiliation. Afraid of annihilation. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who anyone else was. I didn't know who was my friend and who was my enemy. Didn't know what was what, which end was up. I didn't know who to trust. I couldn't trust myself. I didn't know what was real and what was unreal. So I gave up. I came in here. I'm lonely here, but you're as lonely in the world. It's the best option. Put your hand over your eyes. Keep them closed. No one can see you. You can't see anything. This is what I was looking for. I was looking for something real. This emptiness feels real. There's no light here. There's no warmth. I might as well be dead. So maybe I am.